I cancelled my wedding with my fiance after I found out I was the affair partner. When I first met my fiance, it felt like everything clicked into place. We had been dating for 3 years, and now we're set to get married in less than a month. I met her through a mutual connection, her sister, who I had worked with. We became good friends, often visiting each other's homes. And that's when I met her. My fiance and I started going out alone. Just casual outings at first. But soon enough, things took a romantic turn. She was the one who asked me out. She was the one who first said, "I love you." It was a lot for me to process at the time. I wasn't even sure how I felt about her yet. But after a month of thinking things through, I decided to go for it. Our relationship moved forward, and soon, she was the one proposing marriage. That caught me off guard because I had been planning to ask her. But I shrugged it off. What mattered was that we were moving toward a future together. That was enough for me. Things were pretty straightforward for the most part until last week. My fiancée got an invitation to a wedding for one of her close friends and asked me to go with her. She was excited about it. So naturally, I joined her. At the wedding, she seemed on edge, and I didn't understand why at first. She kept me close, introduced me to all her friends, and even talked a bit with the people I had never met before. Then, I noticed she got visibly uncomfortable when a certain guy approached. I thought nothing of it. Maybe he was just someone from her past. The following day, I received a call from an unknown number. It was the guy from the wedding, and he asked to meet me. I was confused, but agreed, assuming it might be about something related to the wedding or perhaps something else altogether. We met at a bar, and right from the start, he began asking me a string of personal questions about my relationship with my fiancée. His questions felt invasive, but I answered them, not knowing where this was headed. Eventually, he revealed that he was my fiancée's ex-boyfriend. He told me that during their relationship, he had found messages between her and me. It wasn't anything explicit, just casual conversations about dinners we went to and friendly talks, but still. It was enough for him to confront her. According to him, she confessed to falling in love with me and broke up with him shortly afterward. The guy started crying in the middle of telling me all this. He said he was still in love with her and just needed closure. That hit me hard. I wasn't prepared to handle that level of emotion from someone I barely knew. Especially someone connected to my fiancé in that way. I felt terrible for him. If I had known about their relationship, I would have backed off immediately. I told him as much and even offered to stay with him while he worked through it. We ended up drinking a lot that night, and I made sure he got home safely to his mom's place. The next day, I couldn't shake the guilt. I asked my fiancée and her sister to come over to talk things through. When I told them everything that had happened, they were shocked. My fiancée started crying, and I confronted her directly. Did she cheat on her ex with me? Why wouldn't she just leave him if she didn't love him anymore? I was angry, not just at her, but also at her sister, who had known about this all along and kept it from me. My fiancée explained that she didn't cheat. She admitted that she was attracted to me while she was still in a relationship with him. But nothing physical happened between us while they were together. She said she had wanted to break up with him for a long time because her feelings for him had faded. She just didn't know how to do it without causing him pain. She told me she fell for me the moment we met, but she needed time to figure out her feelings. I wasn't sure what to believe. She kept insisting that her emotional connection to me didn't qualify as cheating because they hadn't been intimate in a long time. And she had already emotionally checked out of the relationship by then. Still, she acknowledged that she should have told me the truth sooner. But she was afraid I wouldn't understand. She didn't want her past to ruin what we have now. I didn't push any further because she was clearly distressed. But I felt conflicted. I love her deeply, and I don't want to lose her. But the idea that I might have been the reason her previous relationship ended weighs heavily on me. I keep thinking about her ex. How hurt he must be. And how I seem to be thriving while he suffers. Even though my fiancé didn't technically cheat. The lines feel blurry. I also can't shake the thought that if she could develop feelings for me while in a committed relationship with someone else, could she do the same again? Would I ever be able to trust her fully? At this point, I don't know what to do. The wedding is fast approaching, and I don't want to call it off. But I also feel like this whole situation is hanging over me like a cloud. The love I have for her is real, and I don't want to throw everything away because of her past. But the weight of guilt and uncertainty is pulling me in the opposite direction. I feel like I've been dragged into something messy. Something I wasn't prepared for. And now I'm left trying to pick up the pieces. I asked myself whether it would be better to cancel the wedding and take more time to figure out if I can truly move past this. But as I think about it, it's not that simple. I love her, and I believe she loves me too. Still, this nagging feeling of betrayal, whether it's justified or not, won't let me fully enjoy the idea of marrying her right now. As I sit with all these emotions, I realize that I've been too caught up in worrying about everyone else. I feel bad for her ex, guilty about being part of the reason their relationship ended, and conflicted about my fiance's past. But I also have to consider my own happiness and whether I can enter this marriage without doubts lingering in the back of my mind. If I move forward with the wedding, can I let this go? Or will this always be the shadow over our relationship? I've been going back and forth on this for days now, and it's driving me crazy. I keep replaying the conversations, thinking about what could have been done differently, wondering if I'm making too big of a deal out of this or if it's a sign of something bigger. I'm torn between wanting to make things work and feeling like I deserve more transparency and honesty from the person I'm planning to spend my life with. So here I am, stuck in the middle of it all, not knowing which direction to go. Would I be the asshole if I canceled the wedding? I genuinely don't know. I'm looking for some kind of clarity. But the more I think about it, the more tangled everything feels.
I accused my mom of trying to poison me after she kept bringing nuts into the house despite my life-threatening allergy. Growing up with a life-threatening nut allergy has always been challenging. But the hardest part is dealing with my mom, who seems to treat my condition like it's no big deal. I've had this allergy forever, since I was little, and it's severe. Even the smell of nuts in the air can send me into a reaction. So I've been incredibly careful my whole life. You would think that, given the gravity of the situation, my mom would take it seriously. But she doesn't, no matter how many times I've asked her not to bring anything with nuts into the house. It's like she's either forgotten or simply doesn't care. Nutella, peanut butter, almonds, she buys it all. I've lost count of how many times I've explained that these things can actually kill me. But it's like talking to a wall. What makes it worse is that my younger brother, who's only 10, has the same allergy. It's not just me at risk. There are 2 of us in the house, both allergic to nuts. Yet my mom continues to prioritize her cravings over our safety. When I bring it up, she brushes me off like I'm being overdramatic. Like I'm making a fuss over nothing. It's not like this allergy is some new development. She's known about it for as long as I can remember. But still, she insists on stocking the pantry with things like Nutella or peanut butter. And I'm left feeling like I can't trust my own home. It's a constant worry, and I'm always on edge, trying to avoid anything that might trigger a reaction. I've even started avoiding certain areas of the kitchen just to feel safe. Yesterday, though, was the final straw. I was getting ready for work in the morning, just minding my own business, washing dishes at the sink. My mom was right there next to me, making herself a Nutella sandwich. I didn't even think anything of it at first because, honestly, I was in my own head, focusing on the day ahead. I didn't register the danger of her being so close to me with Nutella. About 20 minutes later, as I was walking to the bus stop, something felt off. My skin started itching, which at first I thought was just a random irritation. But then, I couldn't catch my breath. And it hit me. I was having an allergic reaction. The realization was terrifying because I hadn't even touched any nuts. That's how sensitive my allergy is. Just being near that Nutella sandwich was enough to set me off. My throat tightened, and I felt lightheaded, like I was about to pass out right there on the sidewalk. I had to call an ambulance, which isn't the first time this has happened, but every time it's just as scary. I was struggling to breathe. My heart was racing, and my vision blurred as I fought to stay conscious. Thankfully, the paramedics arrived quickly and gave me the care I needed. It's a terrifying experience that no one should have to go through. Especially not because of something that could have been so easily avoided. After everything, I made it home, still feeling weak but at least stable. You would think my mom would be concerned. Maybe ask me if I'm okay after nearly going into anaphylactic shock. But no. Instead, when the paramedics arrived, my parents started telling them that I was faking it. Can you imagine? I just had a severe allergic reaction. And they stood there telling the paramedics that I was pretending. All because I supposedly didn't want to go to work. They really believed I was making the whole thing up just to skip a shift at my job. I was dumbfounded. How could they think I would fake something like this? I'd nearly passed out. I'd needed medical attention. And they still couldn't take it seriously. It was as if my life didn't matter to them. Like I was just being dramatic for no reason. My mom didn't apologize. Didn't acknowledge that what she did was dangerous. She didn't even seem to care that she'd put me in harm's way. That's when I lost it. I told her that she might as well have poisoned me because... honestly, that's what it felt like. She knows full well how serious my allergy is. She knows that even a little exposure can be life-threatening. And yet she continues to bring nuts into the house like it's nothing. It's not just thoughtlessness, it feels deliberate. Like she's putting her own desires above the health and safety of her children. I don't understand why she can't just stop. It's not hard to avoid buying Nutella or peanut butter. But she acts like I'm asking her to make some impossible sacrifice. She started to cry when I accused her of trying to poison me. But I didn't feel bad. How else am I supposed to get through to her? I've tried reasoning with her. Explaining calmly. Asking nicely. None of it works. I don't know what else to do at this point. It's not just about me, it's about my little brother too. We both have to live in constant fear that something in our own house might send us to the hospital. And it shouldn't be this way. I've thought about moving out. But right now, I don't have the financial means to do that. I'm stuck in this situation. And every day feels like a gamble with my health. I just want my mom to understand how serious this is. I want her to stop treating my allergy like it's some inconvenience she can ignore. But no matter how much I plead, nothing seems to change. I'm left wondering if I went too far by accusing her of trying to poison me. But honestly, that's what it feels like. I'm at my wit's end. And I don't know how to make her see the gravity of the situation. I love my mom, but I'm terrified of living in a house where I can't even feel safe.